You're listening to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, created to help you succeed in your Security Plus certification journey. Learn more at baremetalcyber.com, where additional prepcasts, books, and training materials await. Let's get started. Technical implications are the direct effects that changes have on systems, services, and applications. Every modification, whether it is a patch, configuration adjustment, or upgrade, produces consequences that ripple through the technology stack. These effects can influence availability, performance, security, and interoperability. Understanding technical implications is essential in change management because overlooking them can introduce instability or vulnerabilities. For learners, it is important to see that even well-intended changes must be evaluated not just for strategic alignment, but also for their tangible technical impact on the environment they support. Allow lists are tools that explicitly define which actions, applications, or users are permitted. Instead of trying to block every possible unwanted behavior, allow lists focus on specifying what is acceptable. For example, an email system might use an allow list to ensure only messages from trusted domains are delivered. Similarly, an application firewall may allow only defined protocols or IP addresses. This creates a positive security model by assuming everything is denied unless explicitly allowed. Allow lists are powerful but must be maintained carefully to remain accurate and effective. Deny lists, in contrast, are used to block restricted activities, addresses, or applications. A deny list might prevent access from known malicious IP ranges, block certain file types from being downloaded, or stop execution of disallowed programs. This approach focuses on identifying known threats and excluding them from the system. While deny lists are helpful, they are inherently reactive, since they depend on identifying threats after they emerge. They work best as a complement to allow lists, adding layers of protection but not serving as the sole safeguard. Misconfigured allow or deny lists can create significant risks. An overly broad allow list could unintentionally grant access to malicious traffic, while an overly strict one could block legitimate business functions. Likewise, deny lists that are incomplete or outdated may leave gaps that attackers exploit. Worse, misconfigurations can create operational disruptions, such as blocking access to essential applications. For learners, this underscores the importance of precision and testing in managing technical controls. A single misconfiguration can undermine both security and productivity, highlighting why change management processes must account for accuracy. Downtime is another common technical implication of changes, as systems often need to be taken offline for updates or reconfiguration. Even short periods of downtime can disrupt business operations, reduce productivity, or frustrate customers. While downtime may be expected, it must be planned, communicated, and minimized wherever possible. Organizations often schedule downtime during off hours or maintenance windows to reduce impact. For learners, recognizing downtime as a normal but manageable consequence of change reinforces the importance of planning and communication in the technical aspects of security. Service restarts are frequently required during changes and can temporarily affect availability. Restarting a critical service such as a database engine or web server may cause short disruptions that users experience as outages. While brief, these interruptions can still create problems if not anticipated. Proper coordination, scheduling, and communication help minimize disruption and reassure users. Service restarts demonstrate that even small technical details must be managed carefully, as they can accumulate into noticeable impacts if not planned with precision. Application restarts are another aspect of updates, often necessary when applying patches or configuration changes. Restarting applications can cause active user sessions to be dropped or transactions to fail if not coordinated. This highlights the importance of scheduling restarts during low-usage periods or providing users with warnings ahead of time. For learners, application restarts show how even routine changes have human and business consequences if technical impacts are not addressed in advance. Structured processes mitigate these risks by ensuring transparency and predictability. Legacy applications pose unique risks during change management. Older systems may not respond well to modern patches or configuration updates, creating instability or incompatibility. They may also lack vendor support, making updates risky or impossible. This increases the chance that changes introduce errors or that vulnerabilities remain unaddressed. Legacy systems require special attention, often with tailored strategies to protect them without breaking critical business functions. Learners should appreciate that managing legacy applications is as much about careful planning and risk balancing as it is about technical expertise. Dependencies between systems further complicate change management. Modern environments are interconnected, with applications relying on databases, authentication services, and networks to function. A change in one system can ripple across others, creating unintended consequences. For example, updating a server may disrupt the applications that rely on it. Mapping dependencies before implementing changes helps prevent cascading failures. Understanding these relationships is crucial for reducing risk and maintaining stability, especially in complex IT environments where interconnectedness is the norm. Dependencies must always be mapped before changes occur. This mapping identifies the systems, services, and applications that may be affected and ensures stakeholders are informed. Without it, even small changes can have widespread consequences. For example, a seemingly minor network update could disable multiple business-critical applications if dependencies are overlooked. Mapping dependencies is not just technical documentation. It is a proactive safeguard that ensures continuity and reduces the element of surprise. For learners, it demonstrates how thorough preparation protects against hidden risks. Compatibility testing before technical updates is another safeguard that ensures changes do not break existing systems. New software versions, patches, or configurations must be tested in controlled environments to confirm they function properly with current applications and workflows. Compatibility testing identifies potential conflicts early, before they disrupt production. It also reassures stakeholders that the risks of instability have been minimized. For learners, this shows how technical due diligence is just as important as approvals or governance, forming the practical side of secure change management. Ultimately, technical implications must be anticipated in planning. Downtime, restarts, dependency conflicts, and compatibility issues are not failures. They are predictable consequences of change. By acknowledging them in advance, organizations can plan mitigations, communicate expectations, and maintain trust with users. Anticipation transforms technical effects from disruptive surprises into manageable steps within structured processes. For learners, the lesson is clear. Understanding technical implications is essential for reducing risk and ensuring that change management supports both stability and security. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Allow lists enforce what is known as a positive security model by defining exactly which applications, users, or actions are permitted. This approach assumes that everything not explicitly allowed is denied, greatly reducing the attack surface. For example, an application allow list might ensure that only approved software can run on corporate endpoints, preventing unauthorized or malicious programs from executing. By focusing on what is trusted rather than what is blocked, allow lists simplify security and make controls more predictable. This model is widely regarded as stronger than relying solely on deny-based approaches. Deny lists still play a useful role, but they are best viewed as supplements rather than replacements for allow lists. Deny lists provide a way to block known malicious domains, IP addresses, or applications, adding an extra layer of security. However, because they rely on identifying and updating specific threats, they can never keep pace with the ever-growing number of attack sources. This is why deny lists alone are insufficient. When combined with allow lists, they create a balanced defense that blocks known bad activity while limiting access only to trusted and approved actions. Downtime minimization strategies are essential for organizations that cannot afford prolonged interruptions. Techniques include scheduling updates during low-traffic maintenance windows, using rolling upgrades where subsets of systems are updated sequentially, and applying clustering technologies that keep backup nodes running while primaries are updated. Communicating expected downtime to stakeholders also reduces frustration and ensures business continuity planning. Minimizing downtime is not about eliminating it entirely, since some changes inevitably require disruption, but about reducing the length, impact, and surprise of service interruptions. Redundancy is a common mitigation strategy for service restarts. By having multiple systems or services available, organizations can restart one component while another remains online. For example, in a clustered database environment, one node may be restarted, while others continue handling requests, preventing downtime for users. Redundancy transforms what would otherwise be a single point of failure into a resilient system. For learners, redundancy demonstrates how design choices in infrastructure directly influence how technical changes affect availability. High availability designs go beyond redundancy by engineering entire systems to minimize risk of downtime. Load balancers distribute requests across multiple servers, failover mechanisms automatically switch traffic to backup systems, and geographically distributed data centers ensure continuity even during local outages. These designs provide resilience not only for planned changes, but also for unexpected failures. Implementing high availability means organizations can carry out change management with far less fear of disruption. For learners, this reinforces that architecture itself is a tool for mitigating the technical risks of change. Legacy systems present ongoing risks when they cannot be patched or updated. These systems often run outdated software that vendors no longer support, leaving them vulnerable to known exploits. In such cases, the inability to apply regular updates creates serious exposure. Organizations must recognize these risks and treat legacy systems as high-priority vulnerabilities. While it may not always be feasible to replace them immediately, leaving them unaddressed indefinitely creates long-term dangers. For learners, legacy risks highlight the reality that some systems simply cannot keep pace with evolving security requirements. Mitigation strategies for unpatchable systems include isolating them on separate network segments, applying strict access controls, and monitoring them more closely for anomalies. Virtual patching through intrusion prevention systems can block known attack patterns without altering the system itself. In some cases, compensating controls such as increased logging, application firewalls, or even physical restrictions are necessary. These measures do not eliminate risk, but reduce it to a manageable level until the system can be replaced. For learners, these strategies illustrate how security often requires pragmatic solutions when ideal measures are not possible. Dependencies between systems can create cascading failures if not managed properly. A simple change in one area may ripple through multiple applications or services, causing disruptions far beyond what was intended. For example, updating an authentication service could inadvertently lock users out of dozens of dependent applications. Cascading failures highlight the interconnected nature of modern IT environments, where few systems exist in isolation. Recognizing and managing these dependencies is critical for avoiding widespread incidents triggered by localized changes. Testing is the best way to identify unexpected dependency issues before they occur in production. Controlled testing environments allow teams to simulate changes and observe their effects across systems. Dependency mapping combined with testing ensures that surprises are minimized. For learners, this highlights the principle that change management is not just about applying updates, but about validating the environment as a whole. Testing prevents technical oversights from turning into organizational crises, reinforcing the discipline of preparation in cybersecurity. Technical controls themselves must evolve as systems change. An allow list appropriate for today's applications may become outdated as new software is introduced. Deny lists must be refreshed continuously to reflect emerging threats. Even monitoring tools must adapt to new system behaviors. Static controls in dynamic environments create blind spots. Continuous adaptation ensures that technical measures remain effective as both threats and technologies evolve. For learners, this reinforces that technical controls are not one-time solutions but ongoing responsibilities. Automation supports enforcement of technical consistency across environments. Automated scripts can apply configuration changes uniformly, while orchestration tools ensure that updates roll out in the same sequence across systems. Automation reduces human error, speeds deployment, and maintains compliance with established baselines. It also simplifies rollback by making processes reproducible. Learners should understand that automation is not just about efficiency. It is a safeguard that ensures technical implications of changes are handled consistently and predictably across large environments. In summary, technical implications are central to secure change management. Allow lists, deny lists, downtime, service restarts, dependencies, and compatibility all represent predictable consequences of altering systems. By anticipating these effects and applying strategies such as redundancy, testing, automation, and compensating controls, organizations maintain stability while evolving securely. For learners, the message is clear. Successful change management depends on recognizing that every adjustment carries technical consequences, and those consequences must be managed deliberately to protect both security and business continuity. Thanks for tuning in to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, your trusted source for cybersecurity news and insights. Remember to subscribe at baremetalcyber.com so you never miss an update. And visit cyberauthor.me for best-selling cybersecurity books that equip you with expert knowledge. Until next time, stay secure and stay vigilant.